Hey guys, did you hear? There's new TCG support and I can't... Oh my god. Oh god, I am so sorry. I didn't think... Yeah, clearly you didn't. Why do you think I would be excited about a new TCG archetype? I said I was sorry. No, I'm sorry, it's just a little on edge is all. Alright, who wants to tell Time Thief?
Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, back again with another episode of 10-Minute Testing. I was perusing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Subreddit earlier today, because I'm an idiot, when I stumbled upon a terrifying realization. You guys, IGAS came out! This was a bit of a cringe normie moment for me, as I, didn't make any videos about the new archetypes in it. Well, as the SEO says, better late than never. Presenting Plunder Patrol. So here's the list, and I promise that it's a fully realized archetype, you guys. I swear I'm not just making this for the ad revenue. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is a one-stop shop for deck building, deck uploading, card searching, and strategy articles, some of which are written by yours truly. I'm proud to represent them, and I encourage any player interested in deck building to check out their website at www.ygoprodeck.com. Now, let's take a peek at some pirates. Plunder Patrol is an archetype that does some things that are interesting, but not necessarily good. Each one of their monsters can, on their opponent's turn, or anytime if you're using the link, special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from the extra deck with the same attribute as a monster on your opponent's field or graveyard, then equip your own monster to it. As of now, there's only 3 Plunderous Pirates waiting to pilfer from the extra, a Fire Synchro, a Dark Xyz, and a Water Link. The former two have extremely powerful banishing quick removal, provided they're boarded by Plunder monsters for the low cost of a single Plunder discard. All in all, it's a promising archetype that operates in a way that's both novel and hard to interrupt. Of course, there's a reason the Age of Pirates came to an end. It turns out relying on your opponent to make the first move makes it all but mandatory to blind second, and with a shallow pool of extra deck monsters, some archetypes never give you the necessary attributes to storm the seas. Because of this, our deck has called on deck nearly every powerful blind second tool in the format. Evenly, Lightning Storm, and Super Poly, the crew is all here. What's more, the Kaijus are a perfect fit, their advantageous typing enabling Plunder monsters alongside removing problematic Pringuses and permitting us to play Kaiju Slumber. Ideally, we should be able to use one of our Haymakers to equalize the game state, then eke out a living on the 7 seas against a deck that's been severely damaged. So with that, let's get into the card by card. Firstly, we plunder a Q-Cunder. We're on 3 copies of Whitebeard, who specials a plunder from deck when he leaves the field, followed by 3 Redbeard, who equips himself to a plunder when he dips below board. Next are 3 Summoner Monk. We are really pressed for play starters here. Next are the Kaiju, one of each attribute, Doggeran, Raijin, and Gamciel. Bringing up the rear is 3 Phantasme. Our hands have a tendency to brick something fierce. After that are our spells, 3 Instant Fusion for link material and board breaking, 3 Storm, 3 Slumber, 3 Super Poly, and 2 Mind Control, mostly all for the same reason. Finally, we're on 3 Shipyard, which lets you discard a card to add a plunder and gives your plunders 500 for each plunder in the spell and trap card zone. Lastly, we're on a Terraforming and a completely indefensible Metal Foes Fusion to make the random discards sting less. Like I said, indefensible. Finally, we're on 3 Evenly Matched and 3 Booty, which changes the attribute of your opponent's monsters a la High Drive, then summons a plunder from the graveyard. In the extra, we're on a fusion package of Alarm Duck, Starving Venom, Earth Golem, Crossover Hit Muddragon, and Thousand Eyes. For Synchros, we're on 2 Bran, which banishes spells and traps, 2 Moark, which banishes monsters, and an Abyss Dweller. For Links, we're on Boral Sword, Phoenix, 2 Blackbeard, and a Cross Sheep. So with that, let's jump into the games. This first match is the epitome of what this deck is designed to do. We'll use one of our extremely powerful equalizers to board our opponent's board before we get bored. Our opponent is on Block Dragon Burning Abyss. Let's see how far they can set up. They're going to lead with a copy of Mathematician, sending an O-Lion to graveyard and special summoning a token, allowing them to link summon a copy of Cherubini. They'll activate Cherubini's effect, sending a copy of Fiendish Rhino Warrior, followed by a graph to special summon a Seer from deck. Afterwards, they'll activate Jackalope and they hit the Block Dragon. Wow, that must be nice. Next, they're going to activate Dante's effect, milling 3, one of which is Sekka's Light. After that, they're going to fire a Mothman, and they do miss it, which means they'll be able to go into Block Dragon and then the first of several Saruyas. They'll trigger in Graveyard the effect of Block Dragon, the effect of Dante, and the effect of Seer, specialing back the Dante, adding the Seer back to hand, adding 2 cards to hand, and then drawing 4. Next, they'll use Saruya to special summon a copy of Glow Up Bulb, and then Gallus the Star Beast, and that's time in the round. Here comes Curious, which is going to send a Malicious to the graveyard, followed by 3 additional cards. They'll special summon Block Dragon from the graveyard before going into a Giant Rex and a copy of Cerberus. They're going to activate the Glow Up Bulb effect once again before going into Naturia Beast and Mekk-Knight Crusadia Astrum. We're going for Block Dragon, Dotscaper, and a second Saruya. Wow. 2 3s means that they'll be able to use Gallus the Star Beast and Sea Archiver to go into a copy of Leviair and use its effect after special summoning the Block Dragon to bring back Fossil Dynapachycephalo. Incredible! Anyway, here's evenly matched. After they keep Naturia Beast, we're going to tribute it for a Radiant and then activate Shipyard's effect. We'll normal summon a copy of Whitebeard and pass it back. They'll Gizmek at end step, but I'm feeling pretty confident about this game. In main phase 1, they'll activate the effect of Gizmek, targeting our Whitebeard. We'll use the quick effect in order to special summon the Link from our extra. They'll use Malicious' effect. Afterwards, they're going to link summon a copy of, BLS. This actually might be a problem. Okay, with the Nessie on their side of the field, there is something we can do. We'll use the effect of our Link to go into a copy of Moark. When they go to attack it, we'll banish this copy of Nessie. I just want things off their side of the field. They'll wipe our entire board, but we do have a copy of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber in the graveyard. We'll activate that to get a copy of Gamciel and tribute it over our opponent's BLS. We'll normal summon a Plunder, and they'll be forced to concede. First, they're going to use Destrudo's effect, and with 2 cards in their extra, there's not really anything it can go for. They'll graph into a copy of Farfa and use Farfa's effect, trying to banish our copy of Whitebeard, but we can tag out in response. They go to attack, but can't out our 2500 defense point monster. Upsetting. Of course, any deck that aims to blind second these days must face an uncomfortable truth. The Spiral End board is nearly impossible to out. Let's just get this one out of the way and see if we can deal with what they set up. They're going to lead with a copy of Foolish Burial Goods, setting a copy of Assault. They'll use Assault to special summon a Quick Fix from hand and added Drones to hand. They'll normal summon a copy of Drone and go into Double Helix. They'll Double Helix Calling Spell. It's a Shipyard on top to special summon a copy of Master Plan. They'll use Master Plan's effect to get a copy of Rescue. Then they'll discard for Quick Fix, bringing it back alongside a copy of Big Red. They'll go into Drone and Appaloosa. Next, they'll use Master Plan to get a couple of cards to their hand, firing a Resort and a copy of Super Agent. Next, they'll Big Red back this Master Plan using her effect to get the final Rescue from deck, and then Dangering one of the 2 out of their hand. They draw into a Where Art Thou? Are you kidding me? Allowing them to special summon a Magician's Souls. They rip off the top. They'll rescue back this copy of Double Helix, use Magician's Souls, and go into Recital Starling to increase the attack of their Appaloosa and add a copy of DD Crow to hand. After that, they're going to rescue back the Quick Fix, use Quick Fix's effect for Last Resort, link summon a copy of Nightmare Phoenix, and use Spiral Resort to end on Spiral Sleeper, Last Resort, DD Crow, and the God board. Alright, maybe we can do it. So we're going to lead with a copy of Lightning Storm, which baits the Trigate. Now we can resolve the cards in our hand, I suppose. We'll Shipyard, and that Metal Foes Fusion coming in handy here, drawing us a Mind Control off the top. We'll normal summon a copy of Whitebeard and go to Blackbeard. We'll activate Whitebeard's effect. Oh, they have a copy of Called by the Grave. Okay, we'll use Blackbeard's effect in response, going into a Moark. After that, we'll fire Moark to banish this copy of Trigate. They will Sleeper in response, but it's a little too late for that. We've already broken the board. Let's fire a Kaiju Slumber, and all we have to deal with is Sleeper. Unfortunately, that is functionally impossible. The only way we win this game is if they summon something that can be targeted before destroying our back row, and unfortunately they do not. They're going to Sleeper in the draw phase our 2 trap cards, destroying them both, and unfortunately we can't resolve either because they have to target to get their effect. Okay, let's dial it back just a little bit. So it's time for Game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's playing a very interesting list that just came away with first prize at the Card Market Series this past weekend, Invoked Shadow. Let's see if we can win this battle of the blind seconds. Our opponent's going to lead with a copy of Ash Blossom, okay, before link summoning an Almirage. That prompts the Phantasme from us, and the second Ash Blossom from them. They'll then set a copy of Mind Control, and oh, I get it, go into red to go into Morningstar, discarding yellow to set a copy of Secrets. We're going to lead with a copy of Instant Fusion, prompting the Secrets from our opponent as we activate the effect of Thousand Eyes Restrict. They bring the yellow back, and now we should be able to resolve our plays. What those are, I haven't exactly decided yet. We'll go Shipyard into Whitebeard before passing it back to our opponent. They draw a copy of Indigo off the top. Come on! We'll go into Brand, but ooh, that's still in the extra monster zone. I hadn't planned this far ahead. They're going to take our monster and make Boral Sword. We're not dead, but we're going to lose booty at end step because we lack a Plunder. We're going to activate Shipyard as fast as possible, getting a second booty, normal summoning a copy of Redbeard and passing it back. We'll activate Redbeard as soon as possible. They'll Boral Sword in response. We'll go into Moark, then activate Booty's effect to get a copy of Whitebeard from our graveyard, which we will activate to get a copy of Bran. This is pretty strong. Until I see the Cobalt Depths. Oh, we should have just fired the Moark. Okay, they find a copy of A-Lister off of Pot of Desires. They go into Makaba, and that's effectively the end of the game. We'll activate Bran, they'll activate Makaba, and that is the remainder of our life points. But not before we get to re-equip Redbeard. So it's time for game 2, and that's what I'm talking about. Gimme those equalizers. Maybe we'll stand more of a chance in this one. Our opponent's going to lead with a copy of Instant Fusion. They're going to special summon a copy of Millennium from their extra deck. Joke's on you, I don't play hand traps. Afterwards, they'll use purple to get Indigo, and then link summon a copy of Morningstar, Wolf Phantasme, which thankfully is allowed to resolve, and they'll get a copy of Secrets from deck. Okay, Secrets with Indigo is a bit of a different beast, but we still should be able to do it. We'll lead with a copy of Instant Fusion to get a copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict, which prompts the Secrets from our opponent, and I think we actually have Lethal. We'll go into Clothheap, and fun fact, Morningstar is not a Psychic! We'll bring back a monster with the effect of Clothheap, and, yeah, we're Plunder, we're not just Boral Sword OTK. So, it's time for game 3, and, crap, they found us out. We're going first. This hand does not do anything. We're going to normal summon a copy of Whitebeard and hope for the best. We'll pass it back to our opponent, who will, of course, pop off. They're going to set a copy of Mind Control, then special summon a copy of Indigo, activating Mind Control before activating Instant Fusion and going into the BLS link. How are we going to out this? We do get to float into a copy of Redbeard. We'll activate Redbeard. They'll Ghost Ogre, but fun fact, that doesn't actually do anything. We'll go into Moark. They'll add 1500 attack, and we have to beat over this. We don't have another out. Okay, well, we're going to activate Shipyard's effect, and thank God I have the Metal Foes Fusion in hand. We draw a copy of Booty, we'll Instant Fusion for a copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict, then normal summon Whitebeard, going into Blackbeard, and triggering the effect of Whitebeard to get a copy of Redbeard from deck as they trigger the effect of Secrets, bringing back Indigo. Hard drawing it, okay. We'll use Redbeard's effect, they're forced to shift over, then we'll use Blackbeard's effect so we get to summon a Moark. We'll activate Booty, declaring our opponent's monster fire, then activate Whitebeard's effect for a Bran. The only way we win is if after Phoenix, they go for an extremely bad attack here directly into Bran, and they do it! We'll use Moark's effect, and then we use the Graveyard effect of Redbeard to equip it. They both have 4,500 and attack into each other, and our opponent, shame, concedes! So we're back with the deck, and whoa. Okay, yes, we took down a meta strategy, but I should stress, that's not typical. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1. The cards operate in a way that is very hard to interact with. They dodge most forms of removal, float for centuries, and worst case, can be revived with Booty. It's pretty hard to keep these pesky pirates out of your operations. 2. Konami had the foresight to print a Dark Boat. Water and fire aren't that common, but almost every deck plays dark monsters, making it much less miserable to activate your pirates. And 3. Blinding Second has never been better. Honestly, some of these games were just opportunities to show off Lightning Storm. And the cons. 1. The archetype is incomplete. A lack of actual printed plunders means the boats are often without cards to pitch, hands often contain booty and nothing else, and Shipyard runs out of sailors almost immediately. 2. The lack of varied attributes means your opponent is going to be able to effectively play around the existing plunders. Nothing is stopping them from normal summoning a light monster and attacking your plunder, then safely comboing off afterwards. And 3, it can't go first. There are some builds that integrate dangers that have seen a smattering of success, but it's not as effective at setting up boards as meta strategies, so for the time being, this is the build I feel comfortable with. All in all, the Plunder Patrol certainly has potential, but until the next wave of support, I wouldn't expect these pirates to stay afloat. So that's that. Thanks to my patrons, Protagify, Tyler Slacks, Miko Reichman, Crispy, Sir Tachyon, Emperor Stove, TJ Steakhouse, Pro Yugi Dad, Picnic Blastit, Burrito Man 93, Fighting Fang Wong, Donnie Fillerup, Meatmoto 27, Adam Sundquist, Isaac Jackson, Second, Lucas Geardas, Adam Trevino, Adrian Broad Distrin, and others. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing. And if you want to be part of the process, consider following me on Twitch as well. See you next time!